CyberDarks are getting more support, which is good. It's not wrong with getting more support, but the fact that they do have CyberDark cards, they're worth playing. I like using Phalanx, Dragoonity Phalanx with CyberDarks. So I like the idea of summoning one of the CyberDark monsters, bringing back Phalanx and equipping it, then use Phalanx's effect to unequip itself, and then I can go into some synchro plays. Especially when you use stuff like instant fusion with that, you can do a combo. You can go into Trish or whatever you want doing that combo. You can use Dragon Ravine, which is what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to the point where since there's some new support, which is good, that means you can add more cards to the CyberDark deck, so you can actually put the deck together and have some more consistency in the deck and playability. Dragon Ravine, even Future Fusion, the errata version of Future Fusion, will be playable cards that you can use to thin out your deck of the dragons that you're more likely will play in the deck. So that way you have only CyberDark monsters, spells, and traps left in your deck to play with. You know what I mean? And the dragons are already in your grave, so you can go grab them with the CyberDark's abilities. So that's what I'm thinking of right now. That obviously that would be a good investment. Would be Cyber Dragon support, right? The idea of getting high rarity of Cyber Dragons, for example, getting Divine, Dragon Ravine, even Future Fusion, 5 God Dragon to go with the Future Fusion, things of that nature, so that way that can be playable. Even if you don't play it yourself, the fact that there are support coming out, and somebody down the line, months from now when the support comes out, might be like, oh, I want to play CyberDarks, and maybe more people want to play CyberDarks. Or at least you already have the CyberDark cards. You already have stuff that you can trade, sell to people, who want to play CyberDarks mainly because of the support. But it could be meta. It could become competitive. With the new support, it could make the deck competitive, right? Therefore, if it becomes competitive, it'll become popular. People want to play it. So there, you got that to take into account. So of course, investing in CyberDarks is not a guess. You're not guessing, hey, let me invest in some CyberDark stuff, just in case it becomes playable or popular or whatnot. No, there's some support coming, so you can use that as a reason to invest. Obviously, you see the support coming. You can, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro exists, Dueling Network exists. You can check, you can proxy and stuff like that, and play test these support cards. Try them out, see if they work good, see how good they are in the link format. Play test the link format, and see how everything works out. It's like, oh, okay, I see this viable. I see this deck being competitive, so I can see people wanting to play it. Therefore, let me invest in stuff to play the deck, so that way when people do start playing it, they start seeing the value of the deck. The archetype, right? You already have cards that you can trade and sell. And that's another thing, is not everything has to be about like, oh, let me buy stuff for cheap and then sell it for more later. Sometimes it's just getting stuff and holding on to it, so that way you can at least have some trade bait. You have some stuff you can trade people with. That way you can get the stuff you want. Let's say you want to play Zodiacs, right? If you had stuff that people want, you'd be like, all right, well, I trade you all this stuff for Zodiac cards. Like, oh yeah, deal. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Sometimes you just want stuff. You gotta think of Yu-Gi-Oh cards like money. It is a trading card game. Trading is an aspect of the game. So you're not buying cards just to hopefully flip them. That's something you want to happen, but it's not the only thing you can do with the cards. So if the cards don't go up in value, that's okay. They're still tradable, and that's important. That's why it's so good to invest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or anything similar to any card game or anything that has something tangible, something you can buy. Like, I could buy these video games and hold on to these video games, and someday I can trade them, for something that I want, or I can sell them for more if they go up in value, things like that. So it's like certain things that are tangible, like physical items, tend to grow in value over time than losing value. It's not like the stock market where you invest in a stock and then the next day the stock drops, boom, now you owe thousands of dollars. Like, damn, that was quick. So that's the thing with like cards, trading cards, for example. There's a big chance of them going up in value, and sometimes you don't know what's going to go up in value. That's why it's a good idea to get things now cheap, and see what happens. Give it a year or two and see what happens. You would be pleasantly surprised at some of the stuff you bought for like pennies or for like dollars are now worth 20s, 30s, 40s, 60s, $100 in value. Shit, I had 2 super rare champion pack metamorphoses. I sold both of them for $85 each. Think about that. And I bought them a long time ago when they were less than $5 each. And I just bought them because I wanted them in my deck at the time. But I'm not against using the common one. So once I saw I could sell them for $85 each, and I did sell them for $85 each. So that's $170 value right there. I'm like, oh, I'll just replace them with the commons. I have no problem playing the commons. I got a whole bunch of commons left over. So let me throw in the commons, into my little Go format deck, if you want to call it that. I don't call it that, but you probably would. And I sold the supers and got a nice chunk and change out of it. And it's all because I just felt like buying something that I like. I was playing the common ones a long time ago, and then supers came out. I'm like, oh, let me grab the supers. Why not get a rarity bump, right? And then years later, like maybe 8 years later, suddenly now they're $85 in value. I'm like, oh my God, let me sell them. So that's the thing, you don't know. So buy stuff now and hope for it to increase in value later, or at least they'll be tradable, because worst case scenario is you end up selling them for how much you paid for them in the first place. So nothing wrong with that, and that's what you should think of when you invest. That's it in this video.